Here we go, a full self-driving drive. So it is on 360 mode. I'm gonna let the AI do the edit at the end. I'm not really into doing fancy editing, so not really my thing. But while I'm doing this full self-driving drive, I'll talk a little bit about full self-driving. I don't know, obviously, if I'll do this every time, but when people ask me, oh, isn't that creepy? I don't want the car driving for me. Oh, that sounds not safe. So I've driven, I think, about 95% of my 2,000 plus miles with full self-driving. And that's been highway, city, through construction. You know what I mean? Like, there is instances where I've had to take over. And what I tell people as an easy answer is, anywhere you would pay attention more, like intersections, construction, school zones, whatever, you know, like any place you would pay attention more, you make sure you're paying attention while full self-driving's going. Like, pretty common sense. Like, you know, obviously when you're driving straight on the highway, it's easy to zone out. Obviously, don't zone out. Pay attention. Full self-driving can make mistakes. That's why it's called supervised full self-driving. So let's be clear on that. Supervised full self-driving. So, and I'll give a few instances of like stuff that I had happen. So early on when I had the car, I went to an urgent care. I had a sinus infection. Doesn't matter what I was doing, but I guess I'd say about a year ago. So the way you turn into it, it's like you turn in, it's a one-way. And then you go into the parking lot, it's a new building, and when you leave, you go straight, and then you have to turn at a stop sign to turn on the light back onto the main road. Well, when I left the urgent care, it started trying to turn left down the one-way. Like it used to be that way, and you could take a left out of there, but that has been probably a year, 2 years ago, probably even. And so I did have to take over immediately, obviously, and, you know, whoa, where are you going? There's been instances where, like, when you're on like merge ramps and it's got the lines and it's kind of got the stripes, it'll try to like drive in the striped line and like kind of be goofy about how it merges on. And so, and then like a prime example, on my daily route, there used to be 2 entrance ramps or 2 lanes onto the entrance ramp for the highway. They cut the one out and made it like one really just big lane, and it tries to still act like it's 2 lanes. Now, some days it'll do it just fine. Other days it'll start trying to like get over like it's going into that lane. So, you know, where I'm going right now, I'm going to the in-laws, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, I live in some hillbilly place, you know, just like the rest of you hillbillies. So I have not touched the wheel. I'm not sure, you know, 360 will probably frame everything. I'm having to film upside down, so I'll have to flip it and post. I just bought a simple, you know, like clip that goes on the visor, and then it attaches to the screw mount. So, but this is a good, like, I think it's a good full self-driving drive. It's not very long. I think the total trip is about 10 minutes, but there's a lot of interesting construction through here. And it's not, and I say interesting, but I mean, there's just construction. So like up here, it gets kind of weird. And so currently right now, when you're seeing me change lanes, I'm not doing that. I have done nothing from the time the recording has started. My feet have not been on the pedals. My hands have not been on the wheel. And so up here earlier, it got a little goofy. So let's see if it does it right this time. So, and it didn't mess it up earlier, but I wasn't prepared because I don't go this way except when I'm going to my in-laws, and that was a new way that I had go. I'm going to turn it into standard mode for driving. I usually keep it in standard mode. And you can just hit the turn signal and make it get over. So like I got this Kia wanting to speed up behind me, so I can hit the turn signal and the full self-driving will get over itself. So there is a way to like control it. You know, you control it with the profiles, and then you can, you know, like, you know, I can just hit this turn signal and then we can get back over for no reason. So you can, you know what I mean, manipulate it some. But to disengage full self-driving, just like cruise control, you hit your brake pedal. You can tap the self-driving on the screen. You can push the button on the right steering wheel to disengage it, and you can straight up just grab the steering wheel, and if you rotate it enough, it will, you know, disengage full self-driving. So there's many ways to disengage full self-driving. So anybody that may be considering getting a Tesla, or somebody that, you know, doesn't want to use full self-driving because, you know, they're worried about it, whatever. There is many ways to disengage it. I have, you know, today is 4 weeks of owning this car. I've put close to 2,500 miles on it, and I would say probably about 2,200, probably more, I'm not looking at the screen right now, have been with full self-driving. Now, you do have a camera on you, and the camera will hiss at you if you're like looking down at the screen, or, you know what I mean, you're looking down at your lap, or, you know what I mean, like common sense. Like if you're not paying attention, the camera's gonna hiss at you and say, pay attention to the road. And if you do not pay attention to the road enough times, it will pull you over to the side of the road. I've never had that happen. You know what I mean? It is supervised full self-driving. I am supervising the full self-drive. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Full self-driving, super cool. Now, the question becomes, so like, okay, up here this lane ends. So let's see what it's gonna do here. I may have to take over here. So, because it better speed up or this person ain't gonna let us over. Let's see what it does here. Okay, it's putting its turn signal on. Okay, this person let us over. So, like, you know, I'm gonna give them a thank you, like, you know what I mean? Like, the full self-driving does kind of stuff like that. Like, me personally, I would have just stayed in the right lane and got over way earlier, like, and I think maybe if I was in chill mode, it probably would have, but I'm just in standard mode. And I use chill mode, so if you stay below 70 miles an hour, you obviously get better battery efficiency. But like, you can see, like, there's like, okay, there's a barrel up here that was like way over earlier, and it avoids it, you know what I mean? It avoids it all, and it looks like somebody had moved the barrel over because I had to go up here and drop the kid off earlier. But, uh-oh, got the popo coming up. So, end of construction zone. But people ask, you know, is paying $99 a month worth it for full self-driving? And my answer to you is, you know, if you're only driving 10 miles a day, full self-driving may not be for you. Like, you may not feel like you're getting your money's worth. But when I purchased this car, uh-oh, the police is looking at me. Let's see what happens here. I worked in the cost of full self-driving, you know, into my I guess payment and what I was willing to pay every month. So, and versus my Kia and the fuel I was spending previously, I am positive, you know, $110 a month. They say the average commute for people is, I guess, 30 to 40 miles. I would assume that is full commute.
You about to be coming?
So yeah, full commute, I would say that's full commute. And so if you're doing 30 to 40 miles a day of a full commute, and they say most accidents happen on your most common routes, and so, you know, full self-driving may be a good option for you. I know being able to buy full self-driving outright anymore is not allowed, so $99 a month is the only option, and $99 a month is reasonable to me. Now, if they raise it to something like $200 a month, that's not reasonable to me, and I won't pay that. $99 a month to me, I'm willing to pay that, and maybe hopefully they'll lower the price more one day. So that's the full self-driving. We're gonna get ready to turn up here in a second. I hope this was educational. I may just post some full self-driving videos with no audio, because I mean, like, as much as I drive during the week, I'm not gonna just, you know, like, talk the entire freaking time. So, but yeah, I'm gonna cut it off here.